Hello, and welcome to the Well-Endowed web show, brought to you by Edmonton Community Foundation. I'm your host, Andrew Paul. Edmonton is full of generous donors who have created endowment funds at Edmonton Community Foundation. These funds generate money to support charities in Edmonton and beyond. On this show, we share stories about how these funds help strengthen our community, because it's good to be well-endowed. In 2007, Edmonton Community Foundation partnered with 5 other organizations to form the Edmonton Area Land Trust. Since then, the EALT has been conserving 14 ecologically important pieces of land in central Alberta. It takes a lot of work to maintain these properties, and EALT relies on a team of volunteers to steward these lands and make them accessible to the public. So let's head out to meet a few of the dedicated volunteer conservation land stewards working to preserve some of the finest natural areas in Alberta.
My name is Nikki Paskar. I'm a conservation coordinator with the Edmonton Area Land Trust. So my role, I do a lot of stewardship work, so I am out here on the lands all of the time, especially during the spring, summer, and fall. Doing various stewardship activities, just taking care of the land, monitoring it, making sure that the ecological values stay intact. I manage and foresee all of our outreach and communications work, and I also do a lot of volunteer management, so a lot of those volunteer events, and I spearheaded and manage the Conservation Land Stewards program as well. So the Edmonton Area Land Trust is a registered charity. We are local, and our mission is to conserve nature in Edmonton and area, and also to engage people and communities in land stewardship and conservation. So we have 14 conservation lands in Edmonton and area. Most of them are open to the public for the benefit of both people and wildlife, so people can come out here and go on a hike, do some wildlife photography, and just really connect with the land. So this land that we're on here today is the Smith Blackburn Homestead, and so it was donated to us in 2018 by an individual who wishes to remain anonymous, and she had spent a lot of time here as a kid. So her grandmother had homesteaded this land, and it had gone on to her uncle later, so it had been in her family for multiple generations, and so she really had this strong connection with the land. So we are a very small charity with a very small staff team. So we really rely so heavily on our volunteer team to help us care for our conservation lands. And so the Conservation Land Stewards program, we just launched it earlier this year, and the purpose of that program is to have members of the community actually come out on their own and help us care for the land. And so the purpose of that, not only will it help us increase our capacity to care for our conservation lands and to have those conservation values maintained, but it also is a way for us to engage our community and to really facilitate people connecting with nature and building a relationship with the land over time. So they can notice changes over time, they can help us monitor, they're actually building that solid foundation with the land to help us.
My name is Carly. I'm a volunteer with the EALT, Edmonton Area Land Trust, and I do a little bit of volunteer conservation work here. So we do all kinds of things that range from removing barbed wire when that needs to happen, all the way to weeding our pollinator garden here at Smith Blackburn, and just regular trail maintenance and things like this. I've always had a just intuitive connection with nature. Like, of course, we need to be conserving our natural biodiversity, but that may not be the case with everyone. So I'm really glad EALT is here to let us know where there is conservation lands just around our own city.
As we have found within the pandemic and seeing all the people on site and talking with some of the people, what a wonderful opportunity to get out into nature and not just to enjoy it, but there is, for instance, a sense of connectedness with life around you. I've been reading up on all the health benefits, the forest baths, the sun exposure. These are so important for our well-being. So as our Glory Hills location has what is called the Medicine Trail, we see that beyond just the plants and so forth, but also the fact that we are experiencing on a psychological level, a physical level, a spiritual level, this wholesomeness, this health that brings so much into our lives. And as a great de-stressor, taking a walk in the woods is wonderful.
So currently we have 14 conservation lands, and we're always working on building our network of conservation lands in this area so that we can conserve more and protect more.
Many thanks to EALT for telling us about the Conservation Land Steward program. Visit ealt.ca to learn more about EALT's conservation work and how to visit their properties or volunteer. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of the show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to visit ecfoundation.org to learn more about Edmonton Community Foundation. We have several grant applications open, and that's also where you can learn more about building a lasting legacy of support by establishing your own endowment fund. Thank you for tuning in. For the Well-Endowed Web Show, I'm Andrew Paul.